Hello, welcome to my podcast. My name is Jennifer, and I'm from North Carolina, but I currently live in Texas. I'm a nail tech, and four of my nails are missing. Also, aren't these so cute? I'm filming off my Mac. I'm filming off my Mac, so the quality isn't the greatest. I'm here with my dog. She's staring at me, looking at me all crazy. But low-key, I always talk to myself, so like, is it really that much crazy for her? Okay, so today I wanted to talk about how, well, actually, I don't know what I really wanted to talk about. Actually, no, that's a lie. I do know what I want to talk about. Literally, I have all of these ideas that come to me in the car. I'll literally be on my way to work and I'll have like a whole ass conversation with myself where I'm like, why don't I just record this, because the world needs more podcasts and the world needs me. It needs me. That sounds very egotistical. Lately, I've been really into astrology. I actually bought an astrology book and I kind of studied it, but not really. I mean, I did. I like wrote down some notes, but I just feel like it's a lot to learn and it's a lot to take in. So I'm going to take it day by day. It's like I'm in school again. Anyways, this is my lovely little altar. Actually, my old roommate, he painted a couple of the bottles on here. He's a really good artist. He's a Pisces, so maybe that explains it. I'm moving around a lot because I've never just filmed just me. I feel a little awkward. I actually moved to Texas like 7 months ago. I moved to Texas. Everybody always asks me, they're like, why would you move to Texas? Like, why do you want to move there? Like, what brought you here? What are you doing here? Basically. And then they'll blank stare at me and I'm just like, I don't know. I actually moved here for fun. Like, I've always, for some weird reason, I was like, I've always wanted to live in Texas just for a year to try it out. And I finally did it. I finally moved out here and I was like, you know what? It's not that I hate it. I don't hate Texas. I don't hate where I live. Maybe there's other parts of Texas that I just haven't been to where I'm like, oh, I'd probably hate it. But I feel like I've made a pretty good community for myself here. And that was the whole point of me moving, right? It was to find, not to find a community, but to see if I could just create something on my own without knowing anybody, without having the help and the support of other people. And you know what? I think I proved that to myself within the first, maybe the first 4 months. And then after that, I was like, okay, what do I do now? My time here in Texas has been fun. I've made some pretty good friends. I have a pretty good friend group, knock on wood. I have started getting more into my health journey the past couple of months, which has been great. I've been doing yoga a lot. I really like yoga. I actually, I had never really considered it, but I was like, maybe I should do the yoga certification thing. That's something that's been on my mind lately, but I don't think I'll do it, but I think it would be fun just to try, just to do, to see, to be like, oh yeah, I have my yoga teacher certification. But I think if I were to do it, I don't think I would actually teach yoga, which to me is kind of like, okay, why would I do that? Why would I go through the whole course to not even teach yoga? Anyways, I feel like that kind of fits into the topic that I wanted to talk about today, which is we are not purchasing products, we are purchasing the aesthetic, the idea of, for example, me, the idea of being a yoga teacher. Like, I'm buying into that. I'm not, it's and this is not an original thought. This is not an original thought by any means whatsoever. It actually but I feel like I've been getting this idea pushed onto me a lot lately where it's like I said before, we are not being sold a product, rather we are being sold this idea, this fantasy, this aesthetic of, hey, for example, Pilates is such a great example. People are like, you don't want to buy the Pilates outfit, right? I mean, that's a part of it. That's a part of the aesthetic that you're buying into. Like you don't really want to buy the Pilates membership because girl, that thing is $300 per month, per week, per however long. Like even with my yoga membership, I think I got it with a discount. With the discount, it was like $120 for the month, right? Without the discount, it would have been almost $200. Why? Because I want to look like the yoga girls, and I'm not afraid to admit that. Like like I will fully admit, what I did buy into that. I'm like, why did I want to start yoga? Because I want to look like these fucking girls that are that look like they're fit. However, I feel like recognizing that is the first step of being like, okay, like I know that that's not how I'm gonna look like day one or day two or day three or a week after I start, but subconsciously it's like, okay, that's what drew me into yoga, or like that's what drew me into Pilates, or like whatever your reason may be. um another example another example in my life that I can provide to you all is nails. So I do nails right now. I've been licensed for about 3 years, but the whole reason why I went into nails, I literally, like, I think it was like after my second year of college. It was like the summer in between my sophomore year and my junior year of college. I went to nail school. Why? Because I wanted to make some extra money. Why did I want to make extra money? Because, well, who doesn't want to make extra money, right? But to me, it was this idea of, oh, hey, perfect. Like, I can go to nail school. I can be an entrepreneur. I can be a business person, whatever, yada, yada, yada. And I can have my own thing, right, while I'm going to school, and I can make a bunch of money. And I was buying into this idea, this fantasy of, oh, perfect. Like, I'm going to be a business person. I'm going to have my own business. I'm going to have all these clients. Like, I'm going to make this much money, X amount of money. If I go to nail school, if I get my license, if I buy all these nail supplies, if, and I did all of that. I bought the nail supplies. I bought my nail course. I got my license. What happened? I think for like a year and a half, 2 years, however long after I got my license, I still didn't do nails. It wasn't until I graduated college, so literally like 2 years later, that I finally decided to commit to it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do nails full time. I'm going to see how this goes for me. And finally make use of my license. And I want to preface that with, or I want to give some context, some background to that is, maybe part of the reason why I didn't fully invest in myself was because I was scared, because of, the anxiety of, okay, like, oh my gosh, like I have to get all these clients, or I have to market myself, or I have to do this. Like, maybe for me, it got to a point where it was like, I was almost like paralyzed and I couldn't do it. But regardless, the things that I had bought, the things that were sold to me, my money's already gone, right? Like, like I said before, I was buying into this fantasy of, oh my gosh, like I'm going to be my own business person, and I'm going to make all this much money just for me to not even use my license. Like, I think I'm going into my second year of being a nail tech. So I think it's about to be 4 years since I got my license, actually. And I've only been doing, out of the 4 years that I've had my license, I've only been doing nails for probably about 2. So anyways, that's another example of us going, and that was 2022. And I feel like nowadays it's more and more apparent that we are, buying all of these things, trying to chase after this aesthetic, after this look, after, what we could be, after, like what is deemed like, oh, like, this is what people want from us, or like, oh, like this is what is cool, or this is what's going to make me this amount of money. Like, like we chase all of these things and we buy all of these things in order to fulfill something that, that is just probably, quite honestly, just never going to be fulfilled. Back to the Pilates thing. Something that I want to note about that is a lot of the girls that we see, and I recognize this, and this is coming from a person that has bought into this idea of, if I start yoga, I'm going to look like these girls, and that was like, I think I really started getting into that mindset, I bought into that mindset probably about like a year and a half ago. But something that people don't talk about enough, or maybe people do talk about more, and maybe I just don't see it, is, but I have seen a few people comment on this, is a lot of the girls that you're seeing in these Pilates classes, in these hot yoga sculpt classes, that is basically just a heated yoga with weightlifting. A lot of these girls went from weightlifting, like really heavy weights, like they were eating hella protein, like they were jacked, like they were ripped, to doing these, I don't know, is it considered like low impact sport, like these Pilates and this yoga, and they're losing like a lot of that mass, but they still looked like it's like a mixture of like a yoga body and a ripped physique, if that makes sense, like just like a very skinny small version of that. But again, like people, they chase this look. They want to look like these like these ladies, that look fit, right? And you think, oh, like if I just attend X amount of yoga classes, or if I just do this, or if I just do that, if I buy this outfit, it's gonna make me want to go to class. Like, like you're just feeding into the system that to be quite honest with you, is maybe never gonna work for you. Yeah. Anyways, that's my rant about that. Another thing that sort of connects to this idea is a lot of these Pilates places, and low-key, like I even see it in the nail industry too. A lot of these Pilates places and a lot of these nail salons, they are creating the aesthetic salon. And shit, like I work for one. Like, like there's no denying that, right? But a lot of these Pilates studios and a lot of these salons, they, make it look very pretty. They do like what do they do? They do like beige, like tan, like, or like very light pink, white, like, like these very neutral, like tan colors. They market themselves, and they, like they create these studios that, let me insert some examples here because I'm terrible at explaining. Regardless, like they're creating these studios to draw you in, like, and like that's a very obvious fact. Like that is not an original thought either, but they draw you in, for the Instagram picture, for, they draw you in, so you like post it, so you promote the business more, right? And all of these women, like they're buying into this, like, oh my gosh, like if I go to the most aesthetic yoga studio, like, where they give me this, or if I go get my nails done at this salon, or blah 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 blah, like I'm gonna be this girl and that girl. And don't get me wrong, like I'm sure that's part of it. Like I'm not trying to like talk down on any of these girls that do this, or ladies, sorry, I'm trying not to say girls, I'm trying to say like ladies, women, like yada yada yada. And don't get me wrong, like I'm one of those people too. Like shit, like I buy into it. Like the yoga studio that I go to, I'm like, girl, yeah, like I'm gonna take my photo, girl. Everyone's gonna know that I went to hot yoga. Everyone's gonna know that I went to yoga sculpt. That I'm becoming a yogi. Like, I'm not saying any of this because I'm better than everybody else, but it's because I'm living it as well. Like, I'm telling you, I'm speaking my truth, and I'm speaking everybody else's truth, right? So, anyways. These people, I lost my train of thought. But yes, you get what I'm trying to say, is we're buying into this thing. I'm one of those people that's buying into this thing, into those things. And even if we recognize it on a conscious level, I think subconsciously, like we still believe that it's going to make us into the person that we want to be. And I don't want to get hate for that. I don't want to get hate for that, but I'm like, I feel like that's the truth. It's like, no matter what, it's like if you're not really truly putting in the work, and this applies to me as well. Like, I've been trying to lose weight for half my fucking life. And if you're not really truly putting in the work, like, you're never going to look like these girls. And that's saying that that's speaking to me, Like, I have tried so many ways to lose weight. And in my head, the very first time that I saw it, it was this one video that really like made me think, oh my gosh, if I just go to yoga every day, if I do hot yoga sculpt, if I do Pilates, I'm going to look like her eventually. And yes, I may look like her eventually, but she has a very different background from me. She's a dancer, or she was an ex-dancer, like she did ballet or something, and now she's been doing yoga sculpt for years. Like she's been doing yoga for years. Like maybe one day I might look like her. Maybe one day my flow will look like hers, but it's never gonna be like her. I'm gonna have to insert a video that I saw, because this is a video that really like threw me into this sort of, not a health journey, but into this idea of, if I just do this, if I just do that. Because I literally remember when I first saw that video, I was like, I bought myself a yoga mat and I bought myself the ball of bangles, and I was like, girl, I'm gonna be like her next week. Next week was a year ago, and I still don't look like her. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you about today's society? The fuck? I just wanted to give you guys my commentary on that, because it's just been heavy on my mind. Like, I feel like because I've been doing yoga and because I've been trying to live like a healthier lifestyle, you can't help but see these things online all the time and in person. Girl, I'll literally be in my fucking class and I'm like, all these fucking girls, all these fucking ladies are doing the same thing that I'm doing. No tea, no shade. I'm literally in the classroom with them. Anyways, thank you for listening to my first podcast episode. It was really short, but that was the tangent that I wanted to talk about today.